Hello everyone. In this lecture, we will learn the round robin algorithm. Okay, so our next scheduling algorithm, that's a round robin algorithm. Now, this is a scheduling algorithm. It's a by default preemptive scheduling algorithm, right? So in this scheduling, every process gets executed cyclically. So it is into the cyclic manner. Or you can say that a particular time slice is allocated to each process, to which we can say as a time quantum. So that's a time slice. We will name it as a termed time quantum. So every process which wants to execute itself is present into the queue. CPU is assigned to the process for that time quantum only, right? So here in this round robin algorithm, what is happening, that is, it is similar to the FCFS scheduling algorithm. It works similar to the FCFS. If you remember the FCFS algorithm, first come first serve, right? What is happening in this algorithm? The process which comes first, that will be served first, or that way CPU will be allocated to that process first. So if process P1 comes first, the first it enters P1, then next P2 enters, then P3, like this way. So that's FCFS. So round robin algorithm is similar to FCFS, but the preemption is added here, FCFS plus preemption, to switch between the processes, right? So here the main purpose of this round robin scheduling algorithm is for the designed for the time sharing system, right? So some time quantum is assigned to each processes, and that process will be executed for that amount of time only. After that time quantum is expired, the process will be swept out from the CPU. So you can say here the preemption is performed. So it will be swept out from the CPU, and the new process, that is into the FCFS manner, P2 suppose, that will be entered into the CPU, and it will also execute it for that particular time quantum which is assigned to that process. So each process will assign the some fixed time quantum. So that small unit of time which is assigned, that we will call it as a time quantum or time slice, right? And here the ready queue is treated as a circular queue. So in circular cyclic manner, each of the process will be selected one by one. Again the cycle will repeat. The processes will be selected till the process that will complete its execution, and it will, your CPU scheduler will continue the process till the processes that are available into the ready queue. So round robin process scheduling algorithm, okay, we will better see with the example, okay, here. So we'll start with the example next, that is first example. Look at here, this example for the round robin scheduling algorithm, right? So in this example you can see here how many processes there are. The processes P1, P2, P3, right? You can see the burst time that is given, that is 10, 5 and 8 respectively. Now here you can see the time quantum. These are 2 millisecond. Can you see this 2 millisecond? Now this is fixed 2 millisecond which will be given to each and every process. So within this 2 millisecond, each process can enter one by one into the CPU and they can be executed. Okay, after 2 millisecond is over for the P1 compulsory will be swept out from the CPU. Your CPU will be preempted, and next process P2 that will enter into the CPU. Okay, so now we will start drawing the Gantt chart for the given algorithm. Okay, now drawing the Gantt chart with this scheduling algorithm. So this here, it is a preemptive algorithm. So look at carefully the processes which are swap out, swap in, again swap out, swap in, how many times, and how if the we are calculating this, you can say waiting time and arrival time. Okay, fine. So you start at 0 millisecond. So here we are assuming at 0 millisecond all the processes are available into the ready queue, right? P1, P2, P3. Now the time quantum which is allocated, so 2 millisecond time slice is here onto the Gantt chart we are writing 2 millisecond. Okay, then next 2 plus 2 4 millisecond, then next 2 plus 4 plus 2 6 millisecond. So FCFS algorithm P1 first, 2 millisecond that will be completed of P1. So here we will cross check, keep track of the remaining time, that's 8 remaining. Then P2 will enter, P1 will be step out as 2 millisecond time quantum is completed for the P1. Now P2 will enter, 2 millisecond will that will be assigned to the P2. So it will complete the 2 milliseconds. So here minus 2, that's a 3, and it is swap out. Next the P3 will enter, again P3 has given the 2 millisecond time commit, will complete the 2 millisecond, it will again swap out. Now all the processes that P1, P2, P3 has completed its first round, right? So again the cycle will be repeated from the starting of the P1. So again the P1 will enter, remaining time of the P1, that's 8. So here again 2 minute time quantum is allocated. So here 6 plus 2 8, and the 2 is completed. So here I'm writing 6, right? Next P2 will enter, 2 millisecond is assigned to P2. So here 8 plus 2 10, and the 2 is completed of P2. So here I'm writing 1. Okay. Next the P3 will enter, 2 millisecond will assign, here it is a 10. 10 plus 2 12. Okay, and P3 has completed 2, so I'm writing the 4 here. Okay, now the again cycle will repeat starting from the P1 because P1 still not completed. So P1 12 plus 2 14, and it has completed 2, so I'm writing here it is a 4. Now after P1 next churn is of P2. Now here the P2 requires only 1 millisecond, so time quantum of 2 millisecond is assigned to each process, but it requires only the 1 millisecond. So after completing the 1 millisecond, automatically it terminates and it will swap out, or it will left the CPU after completion. So it is completed, so no need of P2. Next time cycle is not required for the P2. Next comes the P3. Okay, so P3, which requires again, it is having only 2 milliseconds. 15 plus 2, that's a 17. So 2 is completed, so remaining is 2. So now P1 is still not completed, so I'm writing P1 again here. So 2 here, 17 plus 2 19, remaining are 2. And next one, which one? P3. So P3 here allocated 2 19 and 21. So it here the P3 terminated, and last one is P1 is remaining 2 millisecond. So 21 plus 2 23. So here also P1 is terminated. Getting? So this way the round robin algorithm is working. Okay, getting the algorithm. So this is a preemption. It's easy, but the preemption is there, so you have to be careful. It's FCFS with the preemption. Now number of time processes are swap in and swap out. P1 swap in, here it is swap out. Again it is, sorry, swap in swap out at 2 millisecond. At 6 millisecond P1 swap in, again swap out at 8 millisecond. It goes into the waiting state, again it enters or swap in at 12 milliseconds. So this is a time duration, this is the time duration of the P1 it remains into the waiting. So 12 millisecond, it again swap in and again swap out, again swap in, swap out, like this way. So we have to calculate that time duration. That's a waiting time duration. Okay. So now the waiting time for the process P1. That okay. Waiting time for the process P1, that is equal to, we will calculate in first response is generated 0 millisecond minus arrival time 0 millisecond. Okay, plus now the process P1 is swap out. Yeah, it is swapping out at 2 millisecond, and again it is swapping at 6 millisecond. Can you see here? It is 6 and swap out at 2. So we will do the this minus operation, 6 millisecond minus 2, that is the waiting time into the ready queue before entering again into the CPU. Now again process P1 swap out at 8 millisecond and swap in at 12. So 12 minus 8, that's a waiting time into the ready queue. Again process P1 swap out at the 14 millisecond and swap in at the 17 millisecond. So 17 minus 14. Okay, so here it is 17. So it is 17 minus 14 plus, it again swap out at 19 but swap in at 21. So 21 minus 19. So it's a lengthy one process to calculate the waiting time. So here the total waiting time for the process P1, that's at 13. You can see from this minus and plus. So that is a waiting time for the process P1. Okay, so that is a 13. Now next one, for the process P2 we will calculate the waiting time, that is okay P2. Okay, so first response is generated at the 2 millisecond minus arrival time. Okay, plus P2 is swap out at 4 millisecond and again swap in at 8 milliseconds. So 8 minus 2. P2 swap out at P2 swap out. Sorry, here pen not working properly. Okay, here 8 minus 2 swapping out at 2 millisecond P2 and sorry swap out at 4 and entering at 8. So it is a, instead of 2 it should be 4. Okay, you can see here P2 swap out at 4, entering at again swap in at 8. So 8 minus 4. So that's the time it has to wait into the ready queue. Okay, so 8 minus 4, here we will write down minus 4 plus again P2 is swapping out, yeah, again at 10 millisecond and entering at 14 minus 10. Then P2 swap out but again entering, no, it is not entering. So now here the total is there. So 2 plus 8 minus 4, 4 plus 2 6, so 10 millisecond. It is there is a 13. Okay, and P3 waiting time we will calculate, right? So here the waiting time for the PT first response is generated at 4 and the arrival is this. Okay, plus now it is swapping out at 6 and again swapping at 10. So 10 minus 6. P3 again come out at 12 millisecond. Just see the gun chart. And it come in at the 15. So it's a 15 minus 12. P3 again come out at 17 and entering at 19 minus 17. So here it is 19 minus 7. So this, okay. So you can say what is the total time, waiting time for the P3? It's a 4, 10 minus 6, that's 8, 8 and 11, okay, 12, 13 again, it's a 13. So 13 millisecond. So that's a total waiting time, okay, for the P3 process. So here you can see the waiting time for the P1, P2 and P3 is this way. Now you can easily find out the average waiting time for the processes. So that's the average waiting time for the processes are. I'm directly write down here. Sorry, my pen is not properly working. So here the average waiting time, that is equal to 12 millisecond. So with this, we are completing with the round robin algorithm, right? Here, so in this algorithm, we have considered the arrival time, that's 0 millisecond. But if few of the example they has given the arrival time, at that time also you have to consider the arrival time, FCFS with arrival, right? So here if the arrival is given at a 0 millisecond, number of process which are available into the ready queue, only those process has given the chance, right? So depends on the arrival time, take the one by one each and every process, and according to the time quantum execute those processes, right? So with this, I'm completing the round robin algorithm, scheduling algorithm. Okay, thank you.